Hello everyone and welcome to my coin education playlist. I want to begin this playlist with my favorite US coin to collect, the Standing Liberty Quarter. This playlist will break down the history of different coin series dating back to their inception, design, mintage totals, key and semi-key dates to collect, as well as varieties to keep an eye out for. This video featuring the Standing Liberty Quarter will be broken into two parts. Part 1, Inception and History, and Part 2, Design, Mint Totals, and Collection Strategies. So stay tuned for Part 1, History of the Standing Liberty Quarter. Barber coinage had been introduced in 1892, dimes, quarters, and half dollars with similar designs by mint chief engraver Charles E Barber. The Barber coins were met with considerable public dissatisfaction. Following the redesign of the double eagle, eagle, half eagle, and quarter eagle in 1907 and 1908, as well as the cent and nickel redesigns in 1909 and 1913, advocates of replacing the Barber coins began the push for change when the coin's minimum term expired in 1916. Multiple presidential administrations attempted to modernize and bring beautiful designs to United States coinage. In 1915, Robert Woolley took office as mint director and immediately asked Charles Barber to prepare new designs for U.S. coinage. Woolley, among others, disliked Barber's sketches for the new U.S. coinage, and a competition amongst renowned sculptors was held, at the direction of Woolley, to render the most awe-inspiring design for the new series. The winner of this particular competition was American sculptor Herman McNeil of Massachusetts. On March 3, 1916, the new coins were publicly announced, and on the same day, Robert Woolley informed Charles Barber his designs had been rejected. He remained as the chief mint engraver and was told models from McNeil would arrive at the Philadelphia Mint no later than May 1st. According to the numismatic historian Walter Breen, Barber became sullen and totally uncooperative. Numerous delays were encountered as artists of the new age coinage fine-tuned their models while simultaneously avoided obstacles thrown in their path by Barber. Barber was compelled to participate in the systematic undoing of a lifetime's achievement. He had to participate in the process in which resulted in his coins being replaced by others. McNeil chose a design that was heavily symbolic, intended to represent the American response to the start of World War I. The coin's obverse features Lady Liberty facing east in the direction of Europe, where the war was fought, as well as holding a shield in that same direction. The other hand holding an olive branch as she strides through a gate which is inscribed, "In God We Trust," symbolizing that America wanted peace but was ready to defend herself in war if necessary. The coin's reverse depicts an eagle in flight, as it was federal law to include an eagle on all denominations starting at the quarter. Robert Woolley had major concerns with McNeil's designs as pattern coins were struck. The obverse was indistinct, making even brand new coins appear worn. McNeil was given permission to do further work on his design by Woolley in late June, and in mid-August turned in a revised obverse, different in detail from the original. "In God We Trust" was now displayed on Liberty's sash, in which she held. A complex chain motif surrounded the design, and two dolphins symbolizing the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans lay at Liberty's feet. Liberty's shield bore an eagle rather than the stars and stripes. Robert Woolley resigned as mint director to serve as Woodrow Wilson's head of publicity. On August 18, 1916, President Wilson nominated Frederick Johannes Hugo von Enkelken for mint director, who was promptly confirmed by the Senate. Von Enkelken was supposed to be sworn in on the 21st, but his swearing in was delayed until September 1st by President Wilson's failure to sign his commission. By this time, the mint had experienced considerable difficulties in initiating production of both the dime and half dollar. In the hope of heading off similar problems with the quarter, mint officials decided to re-examine McNeil's designs and subsequently to adjust them. A number of pattern coins were struck, and von Enkelken decided to abandon the Dolphins version. By mid-October, patterns with a modified version of McNeil's original obverse were being struck. On the reverse, the eagle was lowered in position, and a pair of olive branches framing the eagle was replaced by stars. Von Enkelken met with Secretary of Treasury William McAdoo to view coins struck from the modified dies. McAdoo felt that the figure of Liberty was indistinct, but von Enkelken persuaded him that it could not be changed without considerable delay. They did decide that the mint could make the shield clearer and approved approved the design with that instruction. Feeling it was impossible to make the change in time to strike coins in 1916, von Enkelken instructed Adam Joyce that beginning in 1917, the figure of liberty should be sharpened. Throughout late 1916, the Mint was intensely busy first sharpening the design to be used in 1917, and in large-scale preparation of dies to begin striking the new quarters on a massive scale once the new year began in 1917. The first coins came off the presses December 16, 1916. A total of 52,000 quarters were struck with the date of 1916, but these coins were not yet released. This was done as proof that the Barber design had been replaced in the 25th year, as Mint officials believed was required by law. MacNeil, who had not heard from the Mint about his coin since the formal acceptance of his dolphin design, read in a newspaper in the early January 1917 that the Mint was starting to strike his new quarters. He wrote to von Enkelken, and on January 6th he was sent 20 new pieces. After seeing what the Mint had done to his design, MacNeil wrote again, criticizing the artistic nature of the changes. The sculptor pointed out, for example, that the lower position of the eagle made it appear about to land, with its talons in a position only assumed at great heights. Von Enkelken feared that should the sculptor's objections become public and not addressed, the Mint would be exposed to ridicule. MacNeil visited Philadelphia Mint and its engraving department on January 10, 1917. On January 17, 1917, the Mint released the first standing Liberty quarters to the public, dated both 1916 and 1917, into circulation. On January 30, 1917, von Enkelken instructed Mint Superintendent Adam Joyce to give MacNeil full facilities and told him, "See that Mr. Barber keeps his objections to himself while Mr. MacNeil is there." George Morgan, who had worked under Barber for the engraver's entire 37-year tenure, was assigned to assist MacNeil. MacNeil hoped to take what he considered to be the best elements of the two versions of the obverse, which had been accepted by the Mint the previous year. The figure of liberty would be taken from the second version, all the other elements would come from the first. No change was to be made to Liberty's bare right breast, but the dolphins would not regain their place. However, George Morgan proved unable, given engraving technology at the time, to combine the two obverses, meaning the coin would have to be entirely redone by MacNeil. His new version, completed in mid-February of 1917, for the first time covered Liberty's breast, giving her chainmail armored shirt. It is often thought that Lady Liberty's bare breast was covered up because of public outcry. It is also believed that MacNeil covered it intentionally on this redesign because he was unhappy with Charles Barber making changes to his design the previous year without any permission or knowledge. Numismatic historian David Lang said there is no evidence of outcry from the public, but suggests that the design to change the coin was more likely prompted by objections from the Treasury Department. If Liberty was going to stand up to her foes, she should do so fully protected, not naked to her enemies. Thus, the war probably had much more to do with the change than any alleged public outcry. MacNeil's new version in 1917 also had some changes on the reverse. The eagle, which was raised in its position on the coin, 3 of the 13 stars on the reverse were placed between the bird and the words $quarter. Also, there was a dot between the words $quarter and the words United States on the reverse, and these were now removed. I hope you guys enjoyed learning some history behind this heavily symbolic coin in U.S. history. The hobby is so much more than collecting coins. You learn so much history, and as your collection grows and interests change over time, you become fascinated with the coin or the history, the era that it came from. I love collecting because I can hold this Standing Liberty quarter right here, and right in my hands it brings me to the era of World War I or the Great Depression. So again, I hope you all enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you stay tuned for the next part of this series, the Standing Liberty quarter design and collection strategies. Stay tuned for that one.